Hello and welcome to the February 2022 edition of HourWork's mini trainings for quick service restaurant operators. This month, we're digging into a topic that I know a lot of you are thinking about all the time: employee retention. We talked about this in previous trainings. This month, we have the playbook for how you can directly attack retention in 2022. Let's dig in. So, I'm Rob Snyder, as you know, the co-founder of a technology company called HourWork that's helping quick service operators recruit and retain in a short-staffed world, which is the world it seems like we're living in now. This training is based on work that I did in 2021, so last year, where I personally had one-on-one conversations with over 800 franchisees, quick service restaurant concepts. My team also conducted over 20,000 exit surveys that we've audited and reviewed the results on. And basically, based on all of that information, here's what we've seen as it pertains to retention. Really simple. Most operators are not attacking retention directly. What I'm seeing in the market is that operators are trying a lot of different things to attack retention. They're doing things like wage hikes. We're seeing that all over. Adding benefits, shift swapping, all these different things that we have in here, right? Management training, free food, loyalty programs, new applicant screening programs. All of these are really good initiatives to pursue. But what I'm seeing a lot of is operators are implementing these and hoping that it impacts retention. And then they get frustrated because these things are kind of obliquely trying to attack retention. They're coming to me and saying, I wish I had a direct way to focus on turnover, a direct way to solve retention. And so that direct way, in our view, is figuring out what's causing people, what's causing your crew, what's causing your employees to stay, what's causing them to leave, and then deciding what to do once you've figured that out. So that's the point of today's training. Here's how to attack retention directly. 2 steps you can start today. Step 1, understand why employees stay and leave through their own words. 2, decide what to do about it. What are the 1 to 2 things you need to implement right now to make a difference in retention? Let's start with the first step. Understand why employees stay and leave through employees' own words. Now, I've worded this very specifically because what I've seen a lot of is that a lot of companies are doing annual surveys and they get results like this. 21% of employees rate the scheduling process as needs improvement. And what I've observed based on that is we have no idea what this actually means. Does that mean people aren't getting enough hours? They're not getting enough notice of their schedule. Schedule doesn't fit their availability. They don't know how to access the schedule. All these different things could be wrong with the scheduling process. And operators really don't know what to do based on this result, right? My personal favorite is just wanted to complain, right? So what I've observed is that there are 2 kinds of employee surveys that operators are doing to get really specific feedback in employees' own words, right? There's the employee journey touchpoints, right? Where we check in on their first day, in their first week, in their first month, and whenever an employee quits as well as all the checkpoints between their first month and when they quit. Then the second is a monthly pulse touchpoint, not quite an annual survey, but like a pulse check on your workforce that focuses on specific questions that you have, like maybe scheduling, like advancement, like treatment, any other. We have a list of surveys that we recommend operators use, but these are to dig deep and understand in employees' own words. So let's give an example here. I've got a Burger King example here, which is, is there anything you wish was different about the current scheduling process? That's an open-ended question that our system texts automatically to your employees. And, here's a sample response. This is a free-form response. Based on this and based on reviewing a bunch of responses like this, you can actually hone in on what the problem is in your workplace that you can solve directly. Right? I don't know how to figure out when I'm scheduled. I just show up to work for the same shifts as last week, right? That is a problem that is a very easily solvable problem where 21% of people don't like the scheduling process, doesn't tell you how to attack the problem. Now, if you don't currently have this kind of feedback, you're not getting these reports regularly, highly recommend talking to our team and getting these kinds of surveys out to your crew as quickly as possible. You're going to get a ton of feedback that's really useful for your team to parse through. And then based on that, you don't want to try to tackle everything at once. What I've seen the top operators do is focus on 1 to 2 opportunities on a monthly basis that you can address, that you can solve right away. And so we've built a retention action plan worksheet based off of this, where operators in a monthly, quarterly review, you review all of the survey responses that you're getting from these exit surveys, stay surveys, pulse checks, check-ins. And based on that, you decide, okay, what are the 5 main things that we're hearing from employees that are causing them to stay, that are causing them to leave? What should we double down on? What should we change? Right? Read all the feedback, prioritize which problems and opportunities that you think are most important. Then based on that, say, okay, what are some potential solutions, and creating action plans to make that happen. So this worksheet, feel free to reach out to my team. We're happy to share this with you. You can print it out and do it 15, 20 minutes in a leadership team meeting. Really helpful for doing with supervisors, district managers, and also with GMs as well. Their feedback is really helpful as you review the results of surveys. And what you'll find when you do this is that sometimes it is those things that I talked about on the left. Like these will be the solutions that you need to consider, right? Maybe it is that your wages aren't competitive. Maybe it is that you need to add benefits. But what I usually see is the case is that it's usually something around how employees feel like they're being treated. They don't feel like they're getting the information they need. They feel like, they don't know who to talk to about a problem. And so usually the solution is some little tweak where you have, a manager check in one-on-one with an employee in their first 30 days. Where you have some sort of recognitions and celebrations. Employees, highlight that they don't feel like they get enough of that sometimes. Or you have some small tweaks to your existing processes, like your orientation process, where you're finding that a lot of people coming out of orientation don't remember what day they get paid on and how frequently they get paid. Sometimes they don't even know their pay rate. So that is the training here. Again, to recap, understand why employees stay and leave in their own words, and then figure out the action plans for 1 to 2 main things every month or every quarter, reviewing that with your leadership team and your frontline managers. So software can help you do this. Our system can reach out to employees, kind of automate all of those survey and information gathering processes that I mentioned in step 1, so you can understand why employees are staying and leaving in their own words. If you're interested, reach out to me, rob@HourWork.com. We're happy to get you set up on this and get you started down the path to retain employees in a very hard to hire world.